Shabbos. We're going to sing a little bit of Niggin Shabbos. And have to feel it, you know. Shabbos Kodesh, Torah of Halacha. Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos Kodesh. Shabbos Kodesh, Torah of Halacha. Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos Kodesh. Na 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 Okay, I had no intention of playing any music, so let's get into the learning. Thank you everyone for singing along. We should be zocher to Shabbos Kodesh, to Holy Shabbos, Shabbos Shiur. This is a big time for us to learn some holy Torah, the covered Shabbos, and Shabbat, and Shabbos Shiur. Special energy. I suppose that was the push to sing. There's so much sponsors, which we'll leave to Rav Shlomo and to all the shlichus that we do. Baruch Hashem, I'm zocher to be a shlich from Rav Shlomo Katz today and say over some Torah. This is in the holy mokum that he sits and he plays way better songs than I'm able to. So Baruch Hashem, we have the opportunity together to learn some Torah and to be mechazik in his chus. And also the shlichus is Erev Shabbos of Yud Shvat. So we're tuning a little bit into the energy that the Lubavitcher Rebbe brought down when he became the Nasi, the prince. The Nasi is the Nitzot Shel Yaakov Avinu, the prince for Am Yisrael, to be able to guide us at the end of days and bring us hopefully to Mashiach B'kor of Mamash. Amen. So we're going to learn a little bit of Pinimiyus, an intro, because I haven't done this yet in Shirat David. Baruch Hashem, I was able to schlep a few of my svarim because I only live now a few minutes away. That in itself is a whole miracle. I was zocher to move closer to the community. It's with big Mesiras Nefesh. Our whole journey is with Mesiras Nefesh. Anybody who knows me knows that's true. It's not an easy journey. I'm sure for many of the people in the community it's the same. And a big shout out to my Rebbe for giving me time and energy for all those years to be in Eretz Yisrael. Since around 1998 is when I really moved here. And that's a long time. That's over 26, 7 years. I'm married for over 23 years, Baruch Hashem, to my righteous wife, and we're zocher to step into, we merited to step into the world of Shabbos Kodesh and Yerushalayim by many holy tzaddikim, especially this time of year. Show him these 6 weeks of Shmos, V'yera, Boi, B'shalach, Yisro, Mishpotim. We were zocher, Baruch Hashem, during these 6 weeks to really purify and connect into a very big light that comes down. In this time, Tafshin Pei Hey, can you believe it? Was such a year. The days before Mashiach, to Hey Shinas Peh, there should be ability to speak. This would be a year of Peh, of being able to say over Torah in a true way. We're tapping into the inner light, the Pinimiyus. This is the big word, Pinimiyus. We're tapping into the inner light of Torah, and through the inner light of Torah, we have the koyach, we have the mayach, we have the ability to awaken our hearts, the levavos of Am Yisrael and the souls of Am Yisrael, Nishmas Yisrael. This is an opportunity, all of us, to awaken the yichud, to awaken the unification before Mashiach Tzidkenu. And the way I want to do it today is one, with the Parshas B'Shalach, and two, with Halacha. We're going to bring out the inner light that's in Halacha, and that's why this is my intro class to this. And once again, it's up to people themselves if they want to follow up with me and learn Vaito in these inyanim in Halacha, because we want to bring it down practical. Naturally, I'm already like flying around. So I need you guys to help bring me down today especially, and to bring it into halacha l'mais, into everyday life, and specifically L'Kavod Shabbos, because this is a Hachana L'Shabbos Shiur. So let's start. Yeah, first thing we're gonna begin with is the Parshat B'Shalach. If everyone knows a beautiful way to end the first Aliyah from the Parsha, Biyad Ramah. The Tavis Biyad Ramah. Yeah, what does Targum Onkelos say? Anyone know here? Targum Onkelos. How does he translate Biyad Ramah? It's a famous Masorah, because remember we're going in a derech of tzaddikim. So what does Biyad Ramah translate in the Targum Onkelos? Anyone want to look it up? Or should I just say it?
Tell us.
Bereish Gilei. Everyone needs to remember this. This is like I tell you, I'm going to take you into a world that I haven't really introduced to anyone over here, because, I learned a little bit of Rabbi Nachman, a little bit of Tanya, and we do some halachas in the office, Baruch Hashem, learning in the office. We do a podcast, and we discuss some current issues, and Real Kindness podcast, Real Kindness with Rabbi Yosef over here. But what I haven't really shared was that whole time period that I was blessed with, that I was able to be by tzaddikim like Rav Simai Zilberberg, Shlita, and the Kalver Rebbe, and currently the Tolner Rebbe, and Baruch Hashem, and be here with you tzaddikim, with Amei Kulam tzaddikim, with Am Yisrael and Rav Shlomo. I never really opened up that part before I came here. So much the awe that was there, like, other than hopefully it's had a hashpah in our family, as my wife always says, it's in our treasure trove. So Simai Zilberberg used to make a dagesh. A big dagesh means a big emphasis on certain points in the Chumash, certain points in your learning and your avoda that you need to really point out. Rabbi Nachman talks about it. Rabbi Nachman ben Breslov talks a lot about the Indian of making a dagesh of certain nekudas tovas, in certain inyanim. Also in learning, there's a concept. If you look in Rav Simai's Chumash, which I was zocher to, because whenever he wasn't like around his farm, I used to open them up and see his underlining, his nekudas. Same with the Svas Emes, or any svarim of his, or Kutumaron, I'd open up his svarim and see where he'd underlined, what was his notes, and you could learn so much from it. So under the words Biyad Ramah, he was a big dagesh of Bereish Gilei. And he used to talk about it a lot as well. What does Bereish Gilei mean? Bereish Gilei, the Targum Onkelos. So we know that it means in a raised hand. Yeah, we went out of Mitzrayim, we went out of Golos with a raised hand. But what's the Nekuda of Bereish Gilei? What does it mean? It's the Masorah of the Baal Shem Tov. And this is what we're going to bring into Halacha L'Maisa, practical Halacha. Yeah, that the idea of Bereish is Osius Rashbi, Basari. Yeah, it's the same Osius as my flesh. Rashbi is the same Osius as Bereish. Bereish, base, Reish, Yud Shin, Bereish. So Bereish is Rashbi. What's Rashbi? Rav Shlomo Katz was the one who was Megala the Pinimiyus Torah. So if we're going to talk about Pinimiyus Torah and we're going to try to bring it into Halacha, we're going to have to start off with the Masorah of the Pinimiyus Torah, which was Rav Shlomo Katz. Obviously, it goes back to Moshe Rabbeinu as well, and we'll get into that in a moment. But the Biyad Ramah, we're going to talk about this Biyad Ramah. Who was the Ramah? We're going to show how it's in Halacha.
Yad Ramah, he went out with the Rashbi.
With the Or of Rashbi.
The Or of Rashbi, and that's based on
Bereish B'Galei. Sadiq can bring down. Simai Zilberberg brings down. So now, take that same Rashi,
before they got the Torah.
same Osius, Barashbi, Reish B'Galei. Pinimiyus Torah had to be first, because we had to develop that relationship, that will. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here, I'm about tshuva, I wouldn't be sitting here if the Or of Hashem hadn't shined on me.
Josh's been saying this for years.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. I wouldn't be singing. I needed the Or of Hashem
First started learning.
to be able to bring me into halacha, to bring me into any shreichus of Yiddishkeit. That's the door we're in. We have to all be very well. This is like Izvadus with the Tzaddikim. We're thinking about, the Babitcher Rebbe, thinking about that original Izvadus that he had with Rav Shlomo Katz sitting there and other people, Choshev people sitting there, getting ready to bring the light of the Baal Shem Tov through Chabad Chassidus, and through all the other paths that we're connected to, Baruch Hashem, over here, because we make a big unity over here. So the Babitcher Rebbe sitting there, there's a gilui of a Masorah. What's the Masorah? So it's from Rashbi. Bereish Gilei. We're going to go out of Golos through the Masorah of Rashbi, and also Bereish is Roshi Tevis. It's also Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shlomo. Yeah, who's Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shlomo? The Heilige Arizal. Yeah, he was the continuation of this pipeline, and his time, the continuation, the Gilui, the revelation. And then from the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shlomo, and you can also do a Shlomo ben Yitzchaki if you want. Yeah, Rashi. You can also say Rashi, and we'll get to the Pshat Torah in a moment. And Rashi was also bringing down the deepest Kabbalah. We know from Pinimiyus that when after learning, this is a famous concept that Rabbi Tatz used to bring down from his Rabbi Moshe Shapiro. I was zocher to listen to many times Rabbi Tatz, Dr. Kiva Tatz, when he was in London. So he said over very many times that after you learn all Kol Torah Kula and you go through all the different levels of Pardes, Pshat, Remes, Drosh, Sod, you get to Sod, the Pinimiyus of Torah, what do you come back to? Rashi. You come back to Pshat. You come back to really all the Torah is in one Rashi, all in one Nakuda.
You start with Sod.
Yeah, so really, but even after you've learned everything, you realize it's all in a Rashi. Yeah, because it's all within a Rashi. We just have to know how to see and learn Rashi right. This is what we're trying to tap into, the light of the Torah. So inner light of the Torah, exactly. So now we have Bereish, that's the Rashbi, and Bereish is also the Arizal. And then, guess what else? It's also, Bereish is also Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. Yeah, how do we know? Because Yisrael ben Rabbi Eliezer, or Rav Yisrael ben Eliezer. Yeah, so that's one of the ways of explaining it. So it's Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. That was his name, is Yisrael ben Eliezer. So then we have the Baal Shem Tov, and after the Rav Baal Shem Tov, we know that it is mamshich into all the drachim of Pinimiyus Tzadikim, and we have till now. So you can make more Rashi Tevis, but the point is, what we want to do is to learn now. We want to learn and bring it into Halacha L'Maaseh. How do we see a remez and biyad ramah to something that's fundamental? Now, this is from Rav Simai Zilberberg. This was a gilui that he said over at Shalas Sudas. And I just want to tell you that Amshanav Rebbe says all the malachim in Himmel, all the angels in Shemayim, they all come to hear the Torah from the Rav Simai Zilberberg at Shalas Sudas. That's what Amshanav said about it. Meaning the whole world at that moment is listening to the Torah of Simai Zilberberg. And I was okay to be there by his side many times, and for many years. And I was okay to serve, do avodas Hashem with him, and be in the car with him, and talk to him many times. And I feel like that awe that I tapped into was unique and special, and will give us the chizuk that we need for our door to be able to bring Mashiach, because that's really what I'm doing here for. And I mentioned that already in the Tikkun Medina Shir from Rav Shlomo. That's what I'm here for. So how are we going to get to Mashiach? So we're going to have to bring it into everyday halacha. And how does that work in this week's parsha, Biyad Ramah? So he said Biyad Ramah is a zivug between Moshe Rabbeinu and Yosef HaSadik. How do we see that? There's a zivug that happened at that moment between two paths of tzaddikim. Moshe Rabbeinu was our Rebbe, and the Atzmos Yosef is what Moshe Rabbeinu had. In order for the Yam Suf to split, in order for us to successfully leave Mitzrayim, to leave Golus, there had to be a yichud, a unification between two tzaddikim, between the derech of Moshe Rabbeinu and the derech of Yosef HaSadik. Yosef HaSadik was the Atzmos Yosef, the bones of Yosef HaSadik, that Moshe Rabbeinu made a big asik. While everyone else was busy getting the bizas for the chef of the booty from the Mitzrayim, Moshe Rabbeinu was busy bringing up the bones of Yosef HaSadik. Yeah, you can explain it out Pinimiyus, but the bottom line, it would happen as a Lamaisa Midrashim, and based on the Beferish, the Chumash itself, when it says Atzmos Yosef, how did they come? So Moshe Rabbeinu made sure that they would be there in our way of coming out of Mitzrayim, and in the schus of Yosef HaTzadik, as we say in Hallel, that the Yam Suf split in the merit of the Tzaddik, when it saw the Tzaddik, the Aaron of the Tzaddik, and we ended off Sefer Bereshit with the Aaron of Yosef HaTzadik. We knew that Hashem gave us the refuah before the Makkah, before Golus Mitzrayim. He gave us the eights of how to get out of Mitzrayim through the merit of the Tzaddikim. Who was the Tzaddik left in Mitzrayim with us? Moshe Rabbeinu and Yosef HaTzadik. And Moshe was the live Tzaddik, and Yosef was the one who would bring the Kedusha. And that Kedusha gave us the power to be the Havdil between us and the Mitzrayim. That gave us the ability for us, between us and Havdil Min HaToyim, and us and Nana Torah Semes, to give us the Korach to then go get the Torah and come into Eretz Yisrael. So we have to be separated out from the rest of the world, to have a certain Kedushin, or first it starts off Kedushin, then Nesuin. To be able to marry Hashem, we have to have a certain experience of elevation. And that happened at Yam Suf. Chris Yam, for this week's Parsha is Parsha B'Shalach. And we went out, Biyad Ramah. What's the connection to Biyad Ramah? Biyad Ramah this is a very deep concept, but the idea is the Ramah is a Moshe Isalis. It's the Ramah, literally. We want to go out of Golus, we have to have the learnings of the Halacha L'Maaseh, the Yad, how it impacts our daily life, or the Ramah, Moshe Isalis. What's the other part of the Shulchan Aruch that we need? Yosef Kara. We need Rabbeinu Yosef Kara together. They joined together, the Atzmos Yosef, Moshe of Yosef HaSadik. So now this is why I wanted to bring the Pinimiyus explanation first. Now when you open up the Shulchan Aruch and you see the base Yosef, which all Sfaradim hold of, the holy Beis Yosef, the Atzmas Yosef. This is the key to get us out of our golis, because the Daled Amos Shel Halach is where the Shechina Shore, that's where the Hashem's divine presence comes to us through our learning halacha, through living halacha. We shouldn't take for granted how much halacha we're doing all day, every morning, every moment. And that's part what we're going to have a little glimpse in the short time we have as an intro to how much halacha has the Shechina, has the Pinimiyus, has within it the Or. And we start looking at our everyday avoda, and especially Shabbos Kodesh even more so, because remember, this is a Hachana L'Shabbos Shiur. We start to realize that thank God, Parshat B'Shalach is filled with Shabbos. We've got the whole Parshat Aman, and we get the chizuk from Shabbos in this week's Parsha in a big way. The whole Mechias Amalek is only in the koach of Shabbos Kodesh we're able to be lochim with our enemies. So the idea that we're going to tap into a lot of light of how halacha is relevant in a Pinimiyus way, and how it's lit up by the light of Moshe Isserles, Rav Moshe, and Rav Yosef, and how they come together, the two branches of Shulchan Aruch, guiding us in the end of days, guiding us towards keeping Hashem's will and lighting up the world with the kiyum of halacha. So we'll start off with the beginning of the Shulchan Aruch, now that we're here. And right at the beginning it says, it's Gaba Ka'ari, Lama Bokel Avodas Bora. And this is based on a shir Rav Simai Zilberg gave Shalas Sudas. Shir hu Mo'era Hashacha. It was probably Parshat B'Shalach many years ago, because that's when I was there. When you wake up in the morning, it says the Beis Yosef, you have to be like a lion, to stand. Yeah. Yeah. That's based on the Pirkei Avos. Yeah. You have to be like a lion, to wake up in the morning, to serve your Creator. And this is to wake up the shacha. What's the shacha? So we know that Rabbi Nachman talks about this concept. We'll straight away bring some chassidus straight away into this concept of shacha, and we'll get back to this Gaba Ka'ari. The shacha represents all the difficulties, all the challenges, and he's saying you have to wake up the nekudas tovas, wake up the good parts. Because in order to face the day, everyone needs to be able to focus on the good part of themselves. But there's a precedence before that. You have to be like a gibor. You can't be shvach. You can't be weak. You can't be like easy, chilled out, like that kind of avoda. When it comes to waking up in the morning, you have to be a gibor. And that's one of the things, thank God, with the Efrat, generally, my chevra, our chevra, and Shur David, we're on time. We're a good chevra. We're waking up. We're fighting this battle every day. It's Gaba Ka'ari. And that's the path of Yosef HaSadik. That is the path. And it's a path of a Sadik. It's a path of a Sadik who is Gaba on his Yetzer Hara. That's the Beis Yosef brings that. It gives us the koach to misgaber on all the negative parts of ourselves and to overcome them and to face the day with strength. And that's the path of the Sadik. Because remember, if you learn the Tanya, the Sadik is kovish his Yetzirah. He's already at a point where the Yetzirah is not a manda amma. It's not making an impact on him. He wakes up, he comes to serve Hashem no matter what. Then we get to the Ramah, Biyad Ramah. We had the Atzmas Yosef, that's the Gaba Ka'ari. Then we get the Ramah, Moshe Isserles. What does he say? Yeah, he says, Haga, Al Kol Ponem, Lo Yachaz Man Tfili, shouldn't be late. Should daven with the time of the Tzibur's time, it's Panlenin. Haga, Shvisi Hashem Negdi Tamid. That's the first line of the Ramah. First words of the Ramah. You should have Hashem in front of you always. This is the Ramah. This is the Derech of Moshe Rabbeinu. What's the Derech of Moshe Rabbeinu? Yud Kei Vav Kei, Shtar Shalis. The whole Gilui of Yud Kei Vav Kei, the Shem Havaya, the Eitz Tova to wake up in the morning, the good advice to wake up in the morning. It's not about being a tzaddik and mizgaber on your Yetzer Hara. The Eitz from the Ramah is Hashem, Rachmanas Alai, have mercy on me, help me wake up. It's hard, yeah, the realness. That it's hard. It's hard to be a yid. It's hard, not in a old school way where they used to say shver sizayna yid. It's hard to face this door that we're in with all the Yetzer Haras and all the tools out there to keep us in bed and keep us, God forbid, in a negative state. Shavisi Hashem Negdi Tamid. I have the name of Havai, Hashem Havai, in front of me, always having mercy on me and giving me koach, giving me ability to overcome all my difficulties. And that's a different focus. It's not focusing on my Gabris Yetzer. It's focusing on the Shem Havai, the Rachmanas. Hashem's pouring into our day every day. He's giving us mercy and helping us overcome our nisyonis, our difficulties. And that's the Shavisi Hashem Negdi Tamid. That's the path of the Ramah. The path of the Ramah of Moshe Rabbeinu is to megala the Torah. Torah is Rachmana. He revealed the Torah to help us have a relationship with the Shem Havaya. It's because then the Shem Havaya, because the Torah is Kudush Shemus. Hashem's giving us an opportunity to connect in to the Torah and to have a revelation of Hashem consistently and constantly so that we can overcome our issues. And that's part of the fuel. Like I'll tell you something practical that my Rebbe said, told the Rebbe. We had a little remez to him before, when we were singing before. We sang by accident, I didn't mean to sing it, but we sang right at the beginning of the shiur. What was the first song we sang? Haba Nagila. That is a Tolna Rebbe niggin. Yeah, it goes back to the original Tolna. So Mina Shemaim. So we sang a niggin from there. I didn't have intention to sing it at all, so it came down for some reason. And that's one of the things you should know in life. When you make mistakes, that's also Hashem. Yeah, it's also meant to be. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You can make a mistake. Yeah, well, I didn't mean to sing it, and I didn't really remember how to play it, but Hashem worked it out. And the idea that the Tolna Rebbe was brought down, that this avoda for our generation is of Shvisi Hashem Negdi Tamid, and having Hashem in front of us constantly. This is something which he very much is mischazik in the idea of simcha and rachmanis. How Hashem wants us to be besimcha, wants us to be happy, and that happiness comes with that relationship with Hashem. So I'm going to get back to what the Tolna Rebbe said in a moment, because I want to stay in halacha for a second. The idea that we start off the day being mizgaber like an Ari, that's the path of the Beis Yosef. Then we go to Shvis Hashem Negdi Tamid, that's the path of Moshe Isserles, that's the path of mercy, of Hashem's kindness to us. It's two different parts. Does everyone get it? There's the mizgaber, like a tzaddik, and then there's allowing Hashem to give us the koyach. It's coming from above. It's like, it's usa de latata, usa de leila. There's the fight that we do down here, that's the tzaddik, and then there's the fact that Hashem constantly is having mercy on us, constantly shining His light towards us, His Torah, His clarity, giving us the strength to go ahead. It's two different ways, yeah? And we have to realize that the Shulchan Aruch is giving us both, and it's beginning with that, bedafka, because it's the yisod of our Yiddishkeit to have that relationship with Hashem, and either the path of Yosef Tzaddik or the path of Moshe Rabbeinu. But either way, it's going to help us get out of this God. It's going to help us get out of our own Mitzrayim. That's the point. When we're learning the parshas of Mitzrayim, we have to realize Shovavim is giving us an awe into the insight into our daily struggle. The Baal HaTanya brings down that every day you have to see yourself like you're going out Mitzrayim. What does that mean? He explains it that you're having a mochama between your nefesh bahamis, your guf, and your soul, your neshama. And every day it's a mochama. Now, there's different ways to fight it. There's a path of Yosef, of him is Gabra on the Yetzer Hara and remove the Yetzer Hara from you. Or there's another path of just the Rachmanis from Hashem shining at you and giving you the koch. Now, every shacharis is an experience of the Shem Havaya. So really, every shacharis is an opportunity. One of the things I'd love to do is go through shacharis with you guys and just learn together all the different worlds you enter, the different chaychalas. You start off in, and we'll just say it b'kitzur, Korbanos is Olam Asir, the hay of the Shem Havaya. Then we go to the Vav, which is Olam Yitzira, and that's Pezuka Dezimah. We're praising Hashem like Malachim, and then we get to more higher madregas of Avos Hashem and Yiras Hashem, which is already the Olam Abriya, and that's the higher hay Shem Havaya. And then we enter into Atzilus, the Shem Yud, and then there's a bechina of Kesser, which we bring down into Tachan. When we daven, we're going into this experience of Shem Havaya that's giving us a renewal for our soul to go out Mitzrayim. Even the Shacharis itself, says, we're going out, we're mentioning Krishma, going out Mitzrayim, we're going out of the restraints of the body, and we're becoming more soulful. And that's the idea Shulchan Aruch is giving us straight from the beginning, the experience of the Shem Havaya, the experience of Hashem and the soul level that we have within us, all gives us power to connect into a very big light right at the beginning of the day. And then the rest of the day is now about bringing it into our life by learning Torah, by keeping halacha throughout business or whatever we're doing. And that's going to be the general flow of Shulchan Aruch, teaching us first. A large part of Orach Chaim is obviously busy with the shacharis, but not so long into it, we're already entering into Hilchas Brochas, which is going to come up very lamais, and I brought this sefer with. These are some of my special svarim from back in the day. Neta Gavriel, a very beautiful sefer. I've been learning it in the office about how Tu B'Shvat, making brochas, is a tremendous koch to bring the Shem Havaya into our life more. I just made a brocha. Every time we're making a blessing, we're bringing Hashem more into our world. We're elevating this world. And part of Tu B'Shvat is to remind us again of Hilchas Brochas, to give us chizuk in what we're doing when we're making a blessing on food, on gashmias, on physical things that Hashem blessed us with, the shefa that we get. And Tu B'Shvat is an opportunity for us to elevate those physical things in our life and to renew our connection to the world of brochas, to the world of Peiros, to Ilan, to the fruits of our life, to appreciate them, to thank Hashem. Hashem's done so much miracles. We were talking about it in the Real Kindness podcast. So much miracles Hashem's doing for us on a public level, on an open level. And then Hashem's doing miracles for us personally. We just went through a war. How I would be missing a big point if I didn't thank Hashem for the fact that all the tefillahs of this community and the world, for my son, Baruch Yitzhak ben Masha, he was zocher to go through a war, a year and a half, and alongside many other friends of ours, children, and come out safely from this war. It's a big miracle, big gilui of Hashem, and we get to see, when we see these souls walking amongst us, we have to see they're open miracles. We're all open miracles. Someone said it, I think last night, Mordechai said it, Holsa, the Zerah Shimshon Shir, he said that just even walking around these hills and living in Efrat is an open miracle. Just us living here is a miracle. Just the fact, the safety and the amount of enemies that want us away from here, Lo Aleinu, God forbid, that Hashem's protecting us constantly. We have to tune in to the fact that Shem Havaya is with us. Or Shvisi Hashem Negdi Tamid is all the time. And Tu B'Shvat is an example of a day where we strengthen our connection to the Shem Havaya in Hilchas Brachas and thanking Hashem. Yeah, it's Yud K. Yichud between the Yud and the K. The Tes Vav, yeah. It's a Yichud between the Yud and the K, there for sure. And that's something we learn about when we learn Chassidus, the idea of what it means to bring Chochmah and Bina, Abba Ve'ima. We're learning about it in the Likutei Moharan. Now let's jump ahead a little bit in Shulchan Aruch. There's obviously, many halachas we just skipped over, all the way till we get to Erev Shabbos, which is where we are now. And we had the opportunity, thank God, with Erev Shabbos, to get a reminder in halachas of Shabbos, and that's why we'll for sure finish before 10 o'clock, to remember that we have a certain inyan of mashkimim, of getting up early, which connects into the first halach of Shulchan Aruch, but all the way to here to now, we have to wake up. We have to wake up ourselves and get ready for Shabbos. Yashkim b'boker b'yom shishi. We have to get up early on the 6th day of the week. It's not the day, because I forbrang Thursday night, so now I have all the terutzim to wake up and be late for Shabbos, God forbid. No, it says Yashkim b'boker b'yom shishi. Lachin sarchi Shabbos. Get ready for Shabbos, says the Beis Yosef. And once again, a strong avoda. Yet we have to really use this man to get up early and early. And that's the first halach you just open up in Hilchos Shabbos that I wanted to bring out, that there's a shaykhis to this whole everyday avodah of waking up, also to Hilchos Shabbos, that we have to get ready, we have to be making for Shabbos, we have to prepare. A lot of the kedusas of Shabbos it comes together with our preparations. And one of the things I've got tremendous chizuk is, one, we have a shir from Rav Shlomo. We shouldn't take it for granted. We thank Hashem. We have these shiurim, and even if you think about them, you mentioned before Pinimiyus, the idea. If you think about Rav Shlomo's seder of shiurim, did anyone ever think about it? I don't know. Maybe I just think in these ways. But the women's class is day of Chesed, the first class. Start off with Chesed, kindness to the Ezras Nashim, and the next day is Gevurah, kick our butts, get us into Avoda. Yeah, that's Tikkun Medina. Shlomo comes, gets us. I mean, you can go through the week this way. So comes the 6th day, and you come to Yesod. And what's Rav Shlomo doing? It's giving us Hachana L'Shabbos, getting us ready for Shabbos, giving us the tools to get ready for Shabbos. It's not just whatever. We have to start removing that word whatever from our mind, and it is brought down in the Chumash as Keri, Lashon Keri. Things just happen, whatever. No, everything's very Vayikra, very Hashem calling out to us with a big aleph, calling out to us and reminding us, or a little aleph is humility, calling out to us to remind us that we are connected to Him. And there's an avoda, even an aleph. You take an aleph, it's Shem Havaya, Yud, Vav, Yud, Shem Havaya. We're constantly connecting into Shem Havaya. That's part of what we have to realize, that and every moment of day, every shir, every bit of halacha is connecting into divinity, because it's Kulu Shemis. That's what's brought down from the Marsha. It's not even in the Chazal brings it down. The Torah is filled with names of Kodesh Baruch Hu, and we're allowing ourselves, when we're learning, to attach ourselves to the Ratzon Hashem, as the Tanya says. When you learn what it says in Tanya about what it means to learn Torah, you're in the mind of Hashem now. This moment, you're learning the Ratzon Hashem. There's no bigger Deveikus and Yichud that goes on when we learn Torah, and even better when we bring it alive and do it, Makayim it. So get up early, Erev Shabbos. Well, that was the first one. Another one. He talks about here that Shabbos, there's a little bit of a, we have to be real, there's a bit of pressure on us Erev Shabbos to get ready and make sure that we're thinking about Shabbos the whole week. That's one of the reasons we say Yom, Rishon b'Shabbos. The whole week we're preparing in our mind that there's a Shabbos coming. And we have to be Zarez. He used the Lashon Sachlis, Zarez Atzmo lekabel et Shabbos. That's the other Lashon I wanted to bring from the Beis Yosef. We have to awaken ourselves to zarez ourselves, to mechabed the Shabbos, to honor the Shabbos. That's what we have to awaken in ourselves, yeah? to honor the Shabbos, to be able to, what does it mean to Lazares? You know, the whole thing with, my son came home, he comes home from the army, from the day before, he's just done a mission, thank God, with his unit, backing them up with the jeeps and everything. They've uncovered, unfortunately, tons and tons of, and fortunately for us, of military equipment from our enemies, from the tunnels up north in Lebanon. And, you know, I've seen the footage, it's pretty powerful, and you see what they're doing. So he comes home the next day with a big smile on his face. Oh, and he walks in the door with a Mesilat Yesharim. So I've got to show you. And he starts reading the whole Inyanim of Zrizis and Zahiris and Nikayon. And he starts reading different parts of the Mesilat Yesharim. And part of it is that his soul and the soldiers' souls are starting to really wake up. There's a feeling, a need. But it has to come back. That's when they come back to us. I'm too busy, I'm working, I don't have time for this. Yeah, I'm in my little katnas demokin of what I need to do. I don't have time for these soldier guys who are actually open vessels now. They're open on some level. They're wanting the light of our Yiddishkeit and our Kiyum Halacha. They want it to be alive. They don't want it to come back and I want a Moser Nefesh for this kind of Yiddishkeit. We have a responsibility that when they come and they're inspired, to join them in their inspiration, to enjoy the experience of being lezarez atzmo lechabed etz Shabbos, to really be zarez, to be fully engaged in getting ready for the needs of Shabbos. This is part of the needs for Shabbos. Hachana L'Shabbos Shiur is part of the needs of Shabbos. So when we're learning in Halacha, we have to think of the words. Don't just read them, because I need to be yotzi to point card that I learned Halacha today. We have to actually experience the words of Halacha, that it makes an impact, like a Musa Sefer, like Mesilat Yesharim or a Chassidus or whatever you're into. We need to sort of realize that the Torah is Torah Achas, it's one Torah, and yes, we need to make sure we get the Halachas clear, but we also have to experience the awe within the Halacha. The Loshen is very specific. Beis Yosef wasn't just giving over just a rule book. He was giving over a way to connect to Hashem through Halacha. Yeah, it's also, we have to remind ourselves who he was. He was a Kabbalist from Sfat. Yeah, he was around the times of Tzaddikim, like with Kodavara, the Ramach, and it's close to the time of Arizal, and the Luchad Dodi we even have. And you hear the stories about what went on by the Beis Yosef. And my children were recently by Krakow, and by the Ramah, by his kever, and there's an awe there as well, by the Ashkenazim, even by the Ashkenazim. Yeah, there's an awe. Yeah, and I'm just joking. So Baruch Hashem, and we had the Derech Chassidus to bring it out even more. And that's the point, that we have to realize that in Halacha, the Loshen is not whatever. Sarach Lizares Atzmo. We have to get ourselves excited for Shabbos. Yeah? Let's put on some Geschmacka music and get ready for Shabbos in a Geschmacka way, with the awareness that this is the Kiyum of the Ratzon Hashem. This is the Raisa. You know, one of the things that I sat by a Rav for many years, Rav Shlomo Vida, should be blessed and should be gezunt. His house is right next to the Belzer Rebbe's shul, that beautiful Belzer shul. He lives number 1, Rochav Aaron, Kedushas Aaron. Kedushas Aaron is number 1, Kedushas Aaron. And it's literally, I mean, you can go knock on his door and say shalom to him. He's a big Rav, big posik, head of the Beis Din over there. So he gave me time for many years, every day, to learn Halacha with him. For years. I don't know what discuss I had. I brought some challenges to him. Like one of the things I used to bring to him is a guy called Shine Po. That was a bit of a test for a Belzer to sit and learn with Shine Po. We'll get into that story another time. That'll be for bringing late at night. Shine Po. He's trying to be the Prime Minister of Belize right now. Yeah. So that would be an interesting story. But a Belzer Posik with a rapper, and now trying to be Prime Minister. Anyway, one of I won't say his name. One of guys. Yeah, I won't say his name. You know who he is. Yeah. Anyway, so I brought him to learn with him as well during that special session. Somehow we ended up connecting, but without getting into that whole time period, when all those years before and after, and during even that time as well, I was learning with a Rav, a posik. And what did he say to me? He said, "I have a Masorah. He's an Einikel from the Noam Elimelech. His father jumped off a train in order to not be killed in the Shoah. So he's coming from that kind of Mesiras Nefesh, and Ben Acha Ben all the way from Noam Elimelech. And he said to me, I have a Masorah. There's 2 main derisas that we have to be machmir in, or busy. I don't like chumras personally. I'm just saying over what he said to me. The 2 derisa mitzvahs we have, Shabbos and Hilchos Pesach. Vadai Deraisa, no questions, no suffix. It's 100% Deraisa. So personally, when I saw his avoda and how he is on a high level, his chumras, it's like another world. But for us, what I do is, what I get from that, because I couldn't hold by his pesach, and I even took some of his pesakim and brought it to a very big Talmid Chachamim and Kolalim, and they brought up tshuvas against some of his pesakim, because they're very high levels of chumras in terms of Shabbos and Pesach. So I couldn't keep it all, honestly, I'll be honest. And that's part of, get back to the beginning of Shulchan Aruch, the Hashem has Rachmanis. There's something my wife said to me, you're going to give a shiur about halacha, like, Nebuch, like the generation have to hear from you. She didn't say it like that, but it was something like that, yeah? But so I said, Nebuch, Rav Shlomo, went through the list of people around, and probably a few people weren't available, so he was like, oh, Belazer, yeah? All right, there's no one else. Oh, Shem Yerachim. So I'm just saying, it could be, that was but hopefully not. The point, so what do? We have to mo'ir the shachar, we have to more of the good points. We have to more the fact that Hashem is having rachmanas on us in halacha. He's not expecting us to do what we're not capable of. Kol hakavod to Rav Shalom Vida, they can keep these high chumras and is a true Messiah but one of the things I've had to do all these years, also being by Simai Zilberberg, being by Tzaddikim, and it's one of the things that Tom the Rebbe helped me, I said I'd get back to it, helped me very much bring down all those high levels into daily life, into my kalim, my reality. The ore doesn't create a shviras kalim. I still come out after hearing the light from Tzaddikim in Yerushalayim and other such places. I still come out with whole kalim. I'm still my own person. I've got my own unique light of Torah, and I still come out with a rachmanis on myself. That's very important to have rachmanis. Rabbi Nachman talks about it. You have to have erech apayim. You have to have patience with yourself, with Yiddishkeit. Don't start being so tough on yourself that you have to keep everything. It's something I wish I'm going to actually send this recording to Rav Shlomo, who left before, because I think this likud is something he'll get chizuk from. This idea of patience with yourself, because there's a lot of pressure sometimes when you start learning halakha, and you see, like the Mishnah Berurah brings down, it's almost impossible. The Chofetz Chaim himself, in the intro to the Hilchos Shabbos, to keep Hilchos Shabbos. I mean, the kollel I was part of when I started learning Hilchos Shabbos, they were learning for 10 years just Hilchos Shabbos, Ian. And that was with hours of day, and Shovavim B'tzifus, 5-6 hours of constant learning, no speaking about anything but Torah. That kind of level of focus. And I remember one of the shiurim I went to with Simai Zilberberg, and it came up in Mei Shalach, this concept of birurim. Now this is a deep concept. I wanted to say in the shiur, but sometimes Dov's taught me it's good to not speak. Yeah, it's good not to interrupt Rav Shlomo. Rav Shlomo's got what to say, and we have to have the derech eretz and Amunas Chachamim covered to the Rav to not speak. Let him speak. It's his shiur. So yeah, not mine. Yeah, so let him speak. So I'm saving it. I saved it for now. Rav Simai Zilberberg said it once. It was a very small group of guys from the kollel. We got together, and he was talking about Hilchos Boreh. So you think Hilchos Boreh is one of the hardest halachas to learn in Hilchos Shabbos. It's very complicated. He went off and he showed within a short time. This is someone who knows halachas, so he's not just holding in Pinimiyus, he's holding in everything. And he gave over the Hilchos Boreh. He said, I can't give over the whole shiur in 2 minutes. We have Erev Shabbos, but the main nekuda, he said over that we have to mavara and mavara and mavara, clarify and clarify and clarify. That's what one of the translations of Boreh is to clarify, like the good from the bad, the achel from the psolos, the food from the what's not food. We have to clarify what is the Ratzon Hashem. That's one of the avodas in Yiddishkeit. And by learning halachas of Hilchos Boreh, this was like his hakdama to the kollel. We're learning how to clarify more and more what is Ratzon Hashem in our life in the deepest way. And that's something which we have to, that's a real relationship with Hashem, that we're constantly mevar and clarifying deeper and deeper inside ourselves. What is the will of Hashem? And we have to keep tuning in. That's really what halakha is trying to get us to a point where we start to tune in to what does Hashem want from me this moment. I had again the V'yashkim B'boker. That was the other part of Hilchos Shabbos. Was there anything else I wanted to say for Hilchos Shabbos? Oh, there's one more. Thank you. Yes, I put this down because I think it's important. I don't always mekayim it, but he talks about the importance of cleanliness, of going into Shabbos in a clean way, and getting rid of the nails and all this stuff. Everything's halacha, like all the preparation we make on the guf. We were learning Tanya, the idea of Hillel used to do chesed to his body. We're not on such a high level that we look at our body, we identify ourselves as a soul, and we're doing chesed to the body. We enjoy the hot mikvah, whatever it is. Yeah, we identify with the nefesh bahamis. Let's be real. Huh?
Or the cold.
Yeah, or the cold one. Exactly, the mayan. But there's an avoda Erev Shabbos, which Baruch Hashem, everyone here has. And this is one of the things I want to be machetov to Rav Shlomo and to the Shiur, is he's bringing out through Rabbi Neman's Torahs, and also before that, Rav Yaakov Meir Shechter, a lot of awe of what it is to get ready for Shabbos and the Shabbos table. And that's going to be my next point I wanted to just bring out. There's a beautiful sefer which I have here. I'll get to this in a minute. Beautiful sefer, which is called Bol V'Yad Say So. This is one of many svarim like this, and this is from Skver Chassidim. I don't really have so much shaykhis other than through Tolna in Skver. You know, my Rebbe used to make a joke. He'd say the Tisha B'Av of Tolna, the Simcha, was bigger than the Simcha on Simchas Torah in Skver. That was like, that's true. But that's how my Rebbe used to talk about Skver. Even though they're family somehow through through the original Messiah, it's like a fellow chassid joke amongst the Chassidim. But the point that Tolna was a big dagish on Simcha, we said before. So that's their emphasis. So that was a nakuda. But in Skver, one of the beautiful things what they did, and Skver are amazing at this, they organized all the minhagei of Shabbos and all the awe that goes on Shabbos. Like if anyone had the merit to learn Rav Sodik's Svarim, you learn Rav Sodik pre-Sodik, any of those kind of Svarim, and you start to see, Izbish's Talmud. Yeah, that's important to know that Rav Sodik, not only was he a Gaon B'Torah, but he was a chassid of the Izbisher. So when we're learning Rav Shlomo and the Izbish, we're tapping into the Rebbe of Rav Sodik, we're tapping into the Rebbe of Reb Leib Belega. I have a chavusa of Yudaman in Dr. Yudaman in Leib Belega's Torahs. But years ago when I was by Amunas Yisrael, another chevra worth knowing about, Moshe Wilson's chevra, who's Zatzal, but now they've got a new mashgiach running them. Amunas Yisrael, their Torahs, there's a beautiful insight through the derech of Sodik of learning, of understanding the Kedushas of Shabbos. And one of the minhagim that we have is certain nusachs, certain ways of bringing out how each Suda of Shabbos has a certain power to it. And it's to realize that we have the ability every Shabbos to tap into tremendous tikkunim that go on, not just for ourselves, but for the whole world. We every Shabbos we are fixing up Olamas, we are fixing up worlds just by keeping Shabbos, just by having 3 Sudas on Shabbos. Very simple Torah of Halacha has tremendous awe. The Chazal brings it down, the idea of the night fixes up the Chevlei Mashiach, and the day fixes up the God forbid the Nesoin of Gehenim, and then the Shalas Sudas, the third meal, fixes up the Gog and Magog, Machamis Gog and Magog. But there's a concept that though just by eating those 3 Sudas, we're also tapping into the awe of our forefathers. Yitzhak is the night, Yaakov is the Shalas Sudas, and Avram is the day. So we have connection, we tap into the aura of the Avos. So we have to understand that every Suda has within it tremendous Pinimiyus, so too the davenings, so too every single part of Halacha, of Kiyum Halacha, just by us making Kiddush, what that does. Just the 70 words of Kiddush, if that's your Nusach, fixing up the 70 Lashonas, the 70 Amim, the Indian of Sod. Yeah, you're connecting up. There's so much to Kiddush. Every Shabbos is an opportunity to bring the world to a better place, not just your own life, your own home, but to realize you have a responsibility larger than that we have the tools. You know, I'll give a little credit to a guy called Shine. Why not? We'll elevate a soul over there. He once said he got such chizuk about Judaism. I don't know if he's still involved, but he got inspiration by the fact that it's almost the code, the language of creation. That was the part that amazed him. And we probably take it for granted, but it's literally the ability to unlock the secrets of the Bria, the power to awaken the Gula, to awaken the revelation of Mashiach is within our Kiyum of Torah, our Kiyum of Halacha, to bring the world to its tikkun, to its place. And that's something which, you're not going to get in any other place. It's only in Torah mitzvahs that you're going to have those tools and to break down the blueprint of creation, that really tap into how creation was formed. Because remember, Hashem looked into Torah and created the world. So it's only that force of Torah and light that's within everything we're doing hasn't it the blueprint, the keys to open up creation. So keeping a Shabbos and all these beautiful minhagim, there's pages and pages. Like even for example, he says brings down a simple halacha. Katanim chayavim b'rabbanim mitzvahs kiddush mishum hinuch. So we say, okay, that's just one. This concept. You have to make kiddush for your children because of hinuch. Something which it's all very close to our heart. This point of hinuch. We have Baruch Hashem. We want to make sure. So we get chizuk. We remind ourselves this is an obligation from the rabbis. Mitzvahs kiddush mishum hinuch. That my children have an opportunity to also be included in my Yiddishkeit. It's not just my Yiddishkeit; it's their Yiddishkeit, and I can include them through the power of the Rabbanim, through the power of them giving me a mitzvah of kiddush. I include them in this world, so I'm not by myself. Just by them listening. They didn't have to know any of this stuff. They have to know what's going on in Kiddush. Just by them being at the table and hearing Kiddush, I'm a mitzvah d'Rabbanan, and of Hinuch, I'm including them in my Yiddishkeit, in my avoda. Now becomes our avoda, becomes our home, and it fixes up not just myself, but my children, my family, just by standing up and representing Hashem and giving aidus to His creation. You start to think of Halacha in a different way. And it opens up. One of the things I did actually, I went through Mishnah Berurah, all of Mishnah Berurah, and in those days I had more time. I was learning in Kollel. I went through the whole thing. I used svarim like Piskei Tshuvas, other svarim like this, and he gives like explanations on these beautiful Piskei Tshuvas. Also, there's lots of svarim, halacha svarim that give you much more of an inner light that's within. There's a beautiful Belzer Sefer I have at home that gives over the light in the home that's going on when you're keeping all the halachas of the house. Shari Bayis, I think it's called. Beautiful svarim that awaken the Pinimiyus within halacha. And what it does, it gives you such a closeness to Hashem when you're learning halacha. And I started to write a little like Lakuti Halachot of my own, like my own Pinimiyus experience of halacha. That's where Rabbi Nosson was able to take the Torahs of Rabbi Nachman and bring it in to all of Shulchan Aruch. And that's what he did. We don't realize what a great sefer Lakuti Halachos is, to bring the Pinimiyus of Rabbi Nachman into halacha. Into halacha l'maisa, and it goes through all of Shulchan Aruch, lefi derech Rabbi Nachman. And that's a tremendous ore that's available on our shelves. We just have to make time for it and learn a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's available daily. There we go. Have a shout out for the share upstairs. So there's an opportunity to get up a bit earlier. We can get there. But the idea that we have this amazing ability just by being people who keep the Torah to tap in. And then this brings me to the climax of the share and will give us the chizuk we need to Messiah Shovavim, with all the Kedusha that's there. To end off this time of Shovavim, these 6 special weeks, we're already now in the last part, B'Shalach, Yisra Mishpotim, head towards Tu B'Shvat, head towards Purim. This is the opportunity right now to realize that as we go through halacha, as we bring the light of Hashem into everyday life, and even more so, we get to experience that on Shabbos, we have now the opportunity to realize that with the Shulchan Aruch is consistent. It ends off, the last halacha of the Ramah is, if everyone's is talking about when we have a leap year. Tov Lev Mishta Tamid. Very good. So Tov Lev Mishta Tamid is from Mishlei. It's a pasuk from Mishlei. A good heart drinks constantly. So we know from Sfarim and Tzaddikim bring down that the beginning halacha was Shvisi Hashem Negdi Tamid according to the Ramah. And when Moshe Isilas, we said, is connected to the Neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu ends off the halacha and Orach Chaim, the ways of life, with a very important yichud, unification between the ruchnis and the gashmis. We said you should have Hashem in front of you always. So too you should constantly drink. A good heart's constantly drinking. That means being able to use this world, physical world, for good, for simcha, for joy. A good heart. His intentions are good with what he does, with the energy this world gives him. And that's the elevation between the Ruchnius and the Gashmius joining together. The beginning of Shulchan Aruch, the idea of getting the right mindset, having the right hashkafa, tzachayim, and then ending off the Shulchan Aruch with a good heart. It's constantly sameach. He's in a happy state. That's why I said to get back to the Talmud Rebbe, this happiness that the Shulchan Aruch wants us to have. And one of the ways you have a good, happy heart is by being with chevra. the importance of having a chabura like this, sitting together, yeah? And whichever people came, whichever people didn't, it's all good, because Rav Shlomo, in the end, we have to remember, he's the Rav here, and he's the one, Baruch Hashem, is guiding us all in this Mokum Kodesh, and we have a Koros Tov to the whole Shiras David. But the idea that we come together and we drink and we sameach, this is just the beginning now. Like we're in the winter time. There's a lot of avoda, a lot of potential right now. Tu B'Shvat, the sap's going up the tree. The potential is there, but it only really starts to manifest the coming months with Purim and Pesach. Gula Samech, the Gula, the potential to bring out a tremendous ore every year comes down, to bring out the Paris of Ilan, to bring out the Paris of our mitzvahs, to bring out all the Paris of learning halacha, Parasem Balamazeh, for Kain Kemis Olam Haba. The idea that we're building fruits for this world, and the Kain Kemis, the Olam Haba, Daled Amis of halacha brings us to an Olam Haba experience in this world. Ma'en Olam Haba, Shabbos is Ma'en Olam Haba. We have the opportunity. It's all in front of us. You know, with Hilchos Shabbos, we get the access to this world of Olam Haba, this world of Devekus and connection to Hashem. You know, for me, one of the most important parts, we'll end off with this, is Hilchos Kiddush. This is the last point, just before 10 o'clock, Baruch Hashem. The Hilchos Kiddush, we get the opportunity to stand in front of Hashem and to become a partner, with a Kodesh Baruch Hu in creation, with your family. There's no beautiful more image. There's nothing more awesome than every week we get to stand, our whole family around us, please God, healthy and well. We should be blessed with that. To stand together and to make Kiddush and to give Eidos to Hashem, that He was also Master Bereshit, He created this world, and He took us out of Mitzrayim, out our guf, out our restraints, out of all our limitations. He gave us a neshama kadosha, a holy soul, and we're standing together with our family. We're bringing down the Shem Havaya into our home. Even in the beginning, Yom Hashishi v'Achilu Hashemayim is the Shem Havaya, Begilui. We're bringing it out, revealing Hashem's name of the Yich between the 6 days and the 7th, the 6,000th year of creation and the 7,000th of Yom Shekulah Shabbos. We're making a unification with Hashem constantly through our marriage, through our family, through our children, through our mitzvahs. We have to realize this is a tremendous opportunity we get every week, and we should enjoy it, experience it. Our family should experience it. Our children's hearts should be open to it. And please God, be zocher to Dori Doris with beautiful nachas. And this is just an intro to the all that's within halacha. And I hope it gives everyone chizik, biyad ramat, go out this golas, to go out of the restraints of Mitzrayim with a raised hand, with Reish Gilei, with all the hashpaz that means, with all the aura of the Siddiqim, and with all the advice of the Siddiqim, and to have shalom bayis, and to have hinuch bonim, and to please God see this community grow. L'chal, l'chal, amen, v'amen.